And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzogoose, with you here for another review of brand new #1 issue. Before I say what it is, open eyes, because I've been getting a lot of comments that I look like drugged or something, but I don't get that much sleep, and I have natural half-closed eyes. I don't know. Blame genetics. Anyway, whatever. So, this is a brand new #1 issue from Marvel, all new Marvel now. This is New Warriors #1. And to say I was excited about this book is the understatement of the year, and I know it's only like towards the end of February, but hey, still. I am a huge New Warriors fan. It's one of the main titles that I read when I was really getting into comics, because it came out in the early 90s, and that's really when I latched onto comics. That's when I started hitting comic shops for the first time and all that stuff. So it was just a book that I related to for some reason, and I love the characters and everything. As you can tell, on my back wall there, I have Night Thrasher #1 and Nova #1, which were spin-offs from the original New Warriors series. And I do have New Warriors #1. It's put up right now, and a bunch of the New Warriors run. So, I'm a huge fan of the New Warriors, so I was really excited when they announced that they were coming back. I didn't really know how they were going to do it. I did have some concerns because the New Warriors disbanded because of the whole Stamford, Connecticut thing that launched Civil War, and that was a huge deal. Within it had a lot of social and political repercussions, and it took a long time for these characters to come back to a point where they could be appreciated again. And I'll get into that in a second. But anyway, this book is written by Christopher Yost, who I do enjoy as a writer. I loved his run on New Mutants and Mutant Academy X Academy, whatever it was called. And I liked some of his Scarlet Spider run. Had some problems with that book, but overall, I appreciate him as a writer. So I was really looking forward to his take on it. Marcus Toe, fantastic artist. I think he's done some Aspen stuff. Really like his art. His art is full of energy and everything. And David Curiel, fantastic colorist as well. So artistically, I really dug this book. I think, like I said, the colors were vibrant. The panels were exciting. You had this one of the first pages with Justice and Speedball, and this big spread page, and it just pops up out at you, and that was nice. I appreciate the art a lot. It was a little different art-wise, but it kind of reminded me of the later issues of the original New Warriors in a way. So, little throwback there. Okay, so the good. Like I said, I've already, I'm not going to good, bad, and ugly, all that stuff, but, some other, I'll leave that to people to do that better. But, what I did like about this issue was the art. I liked the characters, obviously. I'm a big fan of the originals, so having Justice and Speedball in there, having a Nova, even if it's not Richard Rider, which, obviously it can't be, and Scarlet Spider, even though he's a little bit older, still having him involved, even though, again, different Scarlet Spider, but still. And some of these newer characters, I'm not familiar with them, like Sun Girl, I'd never heard of before she was announced for this. I don't know where she came from. Somebody, if you want to leave a comment below and let me know where she first appeared, or whatever. But she reminded me of, in the original book, eventually there was a character named Turbo that came along, and I don't know, she kind of reminded me of that part of the team, that not, it's just because she has technology that she's using to give her powers, or whatever. So it was that kind of character for me. The Salem 7, I don't really know anything about them. There's apparently this magic town somewhere that in New Salem that they are. I don't know if one of them's going to be part of the team. I don't remember who all's on the cover. Some of those I didn't know. I love that there's a Namorita type character here, an Atlantean, involved in the series. I really like that because it's another throwback. And Eraseley, Hummingbird, I'm fine with her too. So story wise, I like the story fine enough. I mean, I don't know much about the High Evolutionary, so anybody that doesn't know, the High Evolutionary is the villain here in this first arc anyway. And all throughout the issue, we have the evolutionaries popping up, encountering each one of these characters that they're introducing throughout the series. We see them pop up with Speedball and Justice. We see them pop up with Nova, and something big happens there. They, I believe they're probably behind the reason that the Atlantean girl comes up and why her friends are all dead. In this particular story, the High Evolutionary and the Evolutionaries, they're looking to basically do away with anybody that's not of complete pure blood. Not crazy about that concept because we've seen it so many times with the in the X-Men books. So that's kind of a tired, played out concept, but it is something that is always it always kind of hits home because in our own society we've dealt with that, of course, and in some places you still battle that kind of mentality. So whatever. High Evolutionary. Like I said, I don't know much about him, but if you don't, he kind of veers on either side, good or bad, depending on what his goals are for a given time, and what's going on. He interjected during Annihilation Conquest. He's popped up in the X-Men books, so he's been on both sides as long as it suits his needs. So it's going to be interesting why he's deciding now to get involved. And it kind of makes sense because you have all the Inhumans popping up, and the mutants have repopulated and all this stuff. So we'll see how it plays out. But it's kind of interesting. I like these evolutionaries visually. They're stunning villains to see in action and everything. I'll honestly say I had high expectations for this book only because the past two incarnations of New Warriors, the past three incarnations of New Warriors have failed miserably. The first, or the second version of New Warriors after the original series, only lasted like 10 issues. It was really weak, just not very good at all. The second incarnation was the reality television stint that led into Civil War, and it totally depicted the characters completely different than they really were. Ended up in Night Thrasher's death, and ended up with Speedball becoming Penance and all this stuff. Interesting story from a story point, and it led into some very cool and interesting stuff, but I hated that they kind of ruined the characters that I love to do it. And then the last incarnation of New Warriors, while written well by Kevin Graveau, it was a different team, a different concept. It was led by Night Thrasher's brother, and the whole premise was trying to find Night Thrasher's body to try to bring him back to life, and all. It was just weird. It just wasn't the New Warriors that I knew. As if they called it something else, it would have been fine, but it just wasn't New Warriors for me. This felt like New Warriors because they were introduced in Nova, and it was Justice and Speedball. I don't like the way that they've de-aged Justice. That really bothers me, but whatever. But this issue, while I really liked it, I really enjoyed it, I'm really psyched to see where it goes. I don't know, it didn't quite grab me like the original first issue. The first issue of the original New Warriors, if you don't know, it started off like first page, Night Thrasher dropping a depowered Nova off a roof. because, you know, he was trying to say your powers are inside you, and I need your help. So there you go, fly if you can. And, you know, he's plummeting to his death, and all of a sudden his powers kick in, and he catches himself, flies back up, and he's like, how did you know, my powers are going to kick in? Night Thrasher's like, I didn't. And that was the kickoff to the series, and it was like, wow, that's bold, that's awesome, and that it kind of took off from there. So this book, this new incarnation, New Warriors #1 that just came out, it didn't quite do that for me. But what I do appreciate is in the original New Warriors, and I have to compare and contrast, I'm sorry. The original New Warriors, it was basically, okay, Night Thrasher's going to this guy, let's bring him on. Going to this guy, let's bring him on. Going to this guy, let's bring him on. And it was kind of like that. It was like going down a list. This book was a little bit more, okay, we're seeing these individual characters, and now they're all encountering the High Evolutionary and the Evolutionaries, and that's how they're going to come together. And that does remind me of the first issue, because the original New Warriors kind of came together to fight Terrax. Some of them were already together. I think it was like 3 of them, and then Namorita showed up, and it's just they became a team because of this new battle. Because it was like they're fighting, and then some newscaster said, "What are you? We're the New Warriors, or they're the New Warriors, or something." I don't remember. But anyway, so it kind of had the same vibe, but at the same time, it was completely its own thing. So I appreciate that. It just didn't quite blow me away. That first issue, New Warriors, the original would have easily been a 5 out of 5 for me. This one is going to be a 4 out of 5. So I did really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to what's next. I just hope they kind of find their footing a little bit faster and kind of bring them together and, take it off from there. So the way I kind of gather, this first issue is going to be all about Nova. I mean, this first arc is going to be kind of all about Nova, just the way it ended. So we'll see what happens. And that's actually smart, because Nova's series is very popular right now. So anyway, 4 out of 5 for New Warriors #1, all new Marvel now. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the issue, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. If you're a longtime fan of the New Warriors like me, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the compare and contrast. See what you took away from it in that regard. Mike Spider Slayer, I'm talking to you, bro. So, and so check out all the other reviews and videos here on Comic Frontline. All kinds of content, updating daily, videos, new series. We're doing blind bags. We got the Media Madness that we just started last week. We're going to be doing 2 episodes of Teen Wolf, the MTV series, coming up on this coming Wednesday night. We had a blast with that. We've got a special Toy Fair Hall of Toys episode coming. All kinds of cool stuff. We're even talking about some other new stuff. Several of us have new ideas for new series. So, we're doing big things. So please check out all the other content here on Comic Frontline. Check out comicrelated.com and comicfrontline.com, both your #1 source for all your comic news, reviews, podcasts, webcomics, and so much more. Listen to the Zone 4 podcast every Friday right here on Comic Frontline, as well as on zone4podcast.com, comicrelated.com, comicspodcast.com, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever else you can find it, but it will be right here on Comic Frontline every Friday night. So, and Hall of Toys every month as well. And I think that covers it. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.